Even though he knew stealing would get him beaten, he still secretly squeezed out a bowl of milk, and he took such a risk, only to save a kitten that was about to starve. However, this kind act was still discovered by the farm manager, looking at the 10-year-old boy in front of him. The manager showed no sympathy at all. He took a whip and struck the boy hard. The boy was laughed at by everyone because of this. At that moment, the father also saw his son being whipped. Angry, he picked up a sickle and wanted to take revenge. But halfway there he stopped, because he saw the farm supervisor nearby. Thinking that he might lose his job, he lost his courage in an instant. The father could only comfort Per in private, saying he would find a time when no one was around, and secretly kill the manager to avenge him. The father spoke very vividly, which made Per believe him. But at that moment, the manager's voice was heard. The manager called the father out for slacking, and told him to work, and right now there was no one around. Per told his father that he could take the chance to act. However, the father only stepped forward and tried to say a few words.
Som far vill jag protestera nu.
Hvorfor svarer du ikke, når man kalder?
Looking at the manager who was younger and thinner than him, the father could not even get angry, and did not dare to resist, because the manager could fire him at any time. If he lost his job, he and his son might starve or freeze to death in this foreign land. But young Per did not understand this. He questioned why his father was so useless. At that moment, the father explained again, violence cannot solve everything. Then the father took out a strawberry seedling to comfort Per. As long as they planted it, they could eat sweet strawberries. Children are easily satisfied. Thinking about sweet strawberries, Per forgot the pain he had just suffered. But aside from this little bit of sweetness, life was otherwise full of hardship. Per helped with dirty and exhausting work on the farm. The place where he slept was also shabby. His wages were extremely low. Fortunately, because he was the youngest, the farm owner would sometimes give him small favors, letting him run errands outside to buy things, and he could earn a little money. Young Per had no concept of money. He only knew it could buy something to eat. Until one day, a worker on the farm told Per another use of money. The worker said that far away there was a country called America, where there was endless food, no one exploited workers, and the wages were very high. You just needed to save money and take a ship to America. From that moment, a dream was planted in Per's heart. He also wanted to earn money and go to America for a better life. After returning home, he told his father about this dream, but his father was not very happy to hear it, because back then, they had heard that people in Denmark lived well, so they had taken a ship from Sweden to Denmark. But after arriving in Denmark, they were still poor, because they could not find work at first. They had gone hungry for several days. Now they were being told Americans lived well. Should they go through all that again and go to America? This was a question worth thinking about. However, the father did not crush Per's dream. After all, in this place full of hardship, people need dreams to have hope. After working on the farm for a while, their lives improved a little. The father used his small savings to send Per to school. He did not know whether going to America was possible, but he knew that education could truly change one's fate. What he did not expect was that Per was extremely smart. He could understand everything the teacher taught, even words on the wall that his father could not recognize. Per could understand them at a glance.
Klokt har du blivit, Peter. Man ska inte alls bli en människa med så mycket lärdom.
Per did not forget his dream. Whenever he had time, he would go to the seaside and look, watching the ship that had just sailed away, wondering how many people on it were heading to America. The only way was to work hard. A few more months passed. Per noticed that it had started snowing outside. Winter had arrived. They had been working here for a year, and today happened to be Christmas. The father rarely gave Per a hot bath. Later, the farm owner would invite them for a meal. They would be able to eat delicious turkey and drink wine made from grapes. However, when it was time to eat, their plates only had potatoes and salted fish. Everyone knew the money for the meal had been taken by the supervisor. Only one worker named Eric dared to express his dissatisfaction. He was the same worker who had talked about going to America before. As a result, Eric was driven out by the supervisor. But outside, Eric began playing a Christmas song. Everyone heard the music. They all stopped eating, as a way to protest against the supervisor's exploitation. A seed of freedom began to grow in Per's heart. The next day, something big happened in the town. Some people had to go out to sea to fish to survive, but the heavy snow froze them to death on their returning boat. Per, who was watching, shed tears. He realized that even if he left the farm, he might not find a better job. This tragedy of death made Per long even more for life outside, so Per worked even harder, and studied even harder. Per's studies kept improving. There were even questions he did not understand, and when he asked them, the teacher could not answer. But the teacher did not admit not knowing. Instead, he told Per not to ask irrelevant questions. Days passed one by one. The father's savings grew more and more, which also made him more confident. On this day after drinking, the father gathered the courage to confess to a female worker, hoping to live together with her.